Joining us on this breaking news broadcast, I'd like to introduce General Rajan Kochhar, who's been with us, Major General Rajan Kochhar, who's a defense expert, Major General G.G. Dwivedi, a defense expert, Major General K.K. Sinha, also joining us live, along with N.C. Bipendra, who's the editor of Defense Capital magazine, and Major Gaurav Arya will also be joining us on this broadcast in a few minutes from now. Tejinder is also live with us. So we're getting you breaking news updates. So we have a map that we're showing on the right of your screens. That's a map of the Galwan area, where the skirmishes took place, where 20 of our brave hearts were martyred. That's a map that we're showing of where that happened. And the pullback on patrolling point 14. The map on the right of your screens shows you where and how it happened. So while we bring you the details, what we're picking up this afternoon to all our panelists, gentlemen, is that there has been a pullback by China, but let's not be mistaken. This is after our military and diplomatic efforts. Now, that is something which has been established. Getting in more details now, that military and diplomatic talks will continue. And of course, that's the reason why results have been yielded. China seems to have got India's message of resolve. The Prime Minister's Ladakh trip, we've been talking about it, seems to have underscored India's national will, a message which has hit home. Diplomatic and military level talks will continue, and that's the reason why we're looking at step-by-step disengagement. Major Gaurav Arya is also joining us. Before we went to the break, Major General Kochhar was making his point, and I had to cut him short. Major General Kochhar, you can complete your point, and I'd like to bring in the other panelists as well. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So what I was actually mentioning was that diplomatic encirclement of China has been completed. The US has moved its 3 aircraft carriers in the South China Sea.
Yeah.
The Australian and the Japanese Navy has also been activated in the South China Sea. Our ASEAN nations are against China and have expressed their solidarity with India. So the entire world opinion has gone against China. At the same time, the Indian Army has mobilized 3 divisions with its entire armory, its entire artillery, the Bofors guns, the howitzers, the aircrafts, the MiG-29 and the Sukhois, everything is there on the border. In the mountains, if an attacker has to be successful, he has to have a combat ratio of 6:1. And in the present scenario, the Chinese forces and the Indian forces are on par with each other. So China has actually realized that even if it carries on its offensive tactics, it is not going to gain any ground into the Indian territory. So it will be a futile effort. So I think his better judgment has prevailed upon him now, and he has decided to withdraw. But I would like to add a word of caution here. We should not jump to early conclusions here, because the Chinese are known to be full of deceit and deception. We must wait and watch, because it has only happened in Galwan right now. We need to see such actions in other areas as well.
Yeah. General Kochhar, we also have Major Gaurav Arya joining us on this broadcast. Major Arya, there's been an update that we've received that rearward movement of vehicles of the PLA was observed at the general area Galwan, Hot Springs and Gogra. Government sources confirming that it has begun. But of course, we will have to be wary about it. Your assessment, Major Arya?
Niranjan, I think we'll have to be very careful and watch this with a hawk's eye for the next couple of days. Like General Kochhar very rightly said, you can't trust the Chinese. And this is just Galwan. Galwan is just one area. They've been making these predatory moves even in Arunachal or other places also. And we need to keep a very, very close watch. But this is heartening news that they have stepped back. And when General Kochhar said, he spoke about the ratio, especially when you talk about mountain warfare. it's always much, much, much tougher on the attacker. You know, when you have defenses there, like the Indian Army has, when you have mobilized three divisions, when you have your fighter jets there, you have your helicopters, you have your Bofors and all the other guns, equipments, armaments there, and then you try to attack. It's never easy. What is the end game for China in all this? I don't see an end game for China in all this except for moving back. Chinese had no other choice because soon winter will set in and China will have, we are used to being there for a very long time. We have been there for ages. But today, what is China going to do? They had to step back and now they have stepped back.
Yeah. Let me get Major General Dwivedi as well into the conversation. General Dwivedi, would you say that India, while sending a strong message with the Prime Minister's visit to Ladakh, showing India's national will, has also scored a big diplomatic victory only merely through communication channels? And when I say communication, I don't just mean the talks that are underway, the military and diplomatic level talks, but also via the entire, the body language displayed and the overall messaging that's gone out.
Thank you.
General Dwivedi. Okay, I can put that question to Bipendra. Bipendra, you want to take that question?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you just repeat the question once, please?
Yeah, sorry. I was asking if, this has happened because of the military and the diplomatic efforts that are on. We've seen it happening for the last few weeks. Even before the Ladakh conflict took place, India has been engaging the PLA. And if the troops are pulling back today in 3 areas, it is underlining India's communication efforts in not just talks at the diplomatic and military level, but also the messaging after Prime Minister's visit to Ladakh, which displayed India's national will.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. I think the messaging has been very clear as far as India is concerned. We have played a very steady game in this war of the mind that has happened in Ladakh. It's not just the military, physical military power, but also the mind power games that the Chinese play. I think we have played it pretty well. But let me caution here that when we get, though we get pretty much excited about this pullback, we should remember that these are all areas where they can always revert to their the positions that they were occupying just yesterday. So we have to not just ask them, we'll have to also verify what they are doing, right at the border right now. So what we are hearing is that they've just pulled back in from the Galwan area and also the Pangongso area. And in Galwan, they have moved back about 1.5 kilometers now. So we should, in 1960, whatever the LAC that was agreed upon in Galwan, if they have moved back from that point, then it's a major pullback by the Chinese. But if it is from the same spot where they were staying till yesterday, then we need to really be cautious about their intent and move, because as the reports are coming in, the Galwan River is in a spat. And then, since it is in the state, there is perforce they have to move back because they cannot stay back in the Galwan Valley bend from where they had a very strategically advantageous position. So that is precisely what we need to be watching. And I think this is also a mind game that is happening. Not just trust the Chinese, you need to verify on the ground and also see that they do this permanently. I think, as and when this has happened, the Indian forces should strengthen their positions right there in all the spots where they have gone back, the Chinese have gone back, and ensure that we have a stronger position in those places. I think that is precisely what the Indian armed forces should be looking at right now. And I think
I'd like to go to General K.K. Sinha here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to go to General K.K. Sinha here and ask him a question. Sir, there are 2-3 things that have happened which are very visible. Number one, the Prime Minister going there actually to Leh and beyond Leh and passing a certain unequivocal message to the world and to the Chinese in particular. Number two, the Indian Army mobilization, the Indian Air Force mobilization. And number three, the naval mobilization, whether it's the Indian Navy, the Australians, the Japanese, or the Americans. Now, all this has come together to put a lot of pressure on the Chinese. My question to you, General Sinha, is what do you think was the last straw that broke the camel's back? The Chinese are moving back. What exactly triggered this immediately? What was the immediate trigger, sir?
Gaurav, you are asking a very, very pertinent and a very deep question. Thank you for that. See, at tactical level, going a few kilometers this side, that side, and few, it is not a sign of withdrawal. See, the only thing in my mind which has made the difference is when the Prime Minister of the country, head of the state, when he is saying that the era of expansionism is over. You must understand, it is a very, very clear and deep meaning. What you brought it out, the three aspects, it has been built up. It is just not a call. Before that, you had a digital strike on them. You have the economical, and it is going on. It has not stopped. At the same time, what you have seen, the mobilization, the way unprecedented things are happening. Even the Indian Navy is now exercising with the Japanese Navy. There are 3 aircraft carrier over there, and you think, the China, I just take it, it is a significant development. And nothing more than that. The China has to go down, not, that going down and again after 2 years or 3 years, he comes again. After the way it was done in Doklam. That is not a victory, and that is not the way we should look at it. You please underscore the thing what the Prime Minister has very clear said, the era of expansionism is over. And that is over, that when we say कि Galwan complete valley is ours, they have to go back to 58 kilometers to the base and they have to leave it. And I can tell you, this is the way it is going to be, it will be done. And slowly and steadily you will find that China has to obey. China has to get into the back foot. This is the beginning of the China's decline. You take it from me. This is, I look at it
Right,
in
sir.
that way, and not a
Absolutely,
victory
sir.
at patrolling point number 14, at Hot Spring and Gogra.
Sure, sir. Now, I'll go to General Dwivedi very quickly, sir. And General Dwivedi, sir, my question to you is this. Like the Prime Minister said that the era of expansionism is over and the world will no longer tolerate countries, encroaching upon others' territory, etc., etc. Now, you see, sir, China has a lot of territorial disputes, but what General Sinha is saying is also right. General Sinha says that, the Doklam thing is not going to happen 2 kilometers back and then 1 kilometer in front. There has to be a permanent solution to this. Do you think it starts off by, rather than only having Corps Commander level talks, another diplomatic push by India saying that it is time now to finally demarcate the line of actual control and make it like an international border so there is no dispute in future? Otherwise, the armies can be there for donkey's years, sir, in future.
Well, Gaurav, firstly, it's always a pleasure to be on your channel and on your show. Well, a very close China question. I'll like to give you two perspectives. Firstly, you have to look at China from a very larger canvas. And secondly, you come to current situation. You see, when I was in China in 2000, a little before, the Chinese have been talking about this line of actual control or joint working group, but last 20 years, we have made no progress. Why? Because Chinese have a very clear policy. Keep the border issue as a back burner and only progress on economic terms. And as I said, in 2000, our trade was barely $2 billion. Today, it is $80 billion. But as far as border issues concerned, we have made no progress. There is a total stalemate. Now, coming to current situation, you see what has happened is part of a Chinese grand plan. They found a good opportunity while the whole world was in COVID-19. We are also battling this. They found that this ideal time to make some more gains, push the LAC westward. And they chose 3 very important tactical areas. I have been in this area twice as a commander. And they wanted to make certain tactical gains. In Pabangso, basically to come on the Chishul Heights. In Galwan, primarily to dominate the Darbuk DBA road.
And in Siachen, there are battalion commander posed a threat to Siachen from east from the western plain side. So that was the grand plan, and they thought they'll achieve it very easily. But what Mr. Xi Jinping did anticipate was our reaction at various levels. At tactical level, we responded very strongly, and 15 June was Xi Jinping's 67th birthday. I'm sure he is not going to forget this birthday for all his life. Secondly, we built up very strong forces and made it very clear to Chinese that they'll have to pay a price in case they want to push the line of access control westward. Thirdly, at the national level, I think Prime Minister made a very clear statement during his visit, and this visit was a strategic visit to give a very clear message to Chinese that now Prime Minister is in direct control of his armed forces, and when Prime Minister goes and shares his political intent with the field commanders, then field commanders have no doubt left as to how to execute on the ground. And writing on the wall are very clear that in case Chinese don't go back, there will be a military push. And that is left to the commanders how they do it, but that was very much on the card. Now, global, please don't forget how the global response has been. Chinese are isolated, they are feeling the pinch, and economy is the place where they hurt the most. And we have taken certain actions of banning the apps, and we are taking more progressive action as part of global policy. Now, where do we stand
Sir.
today? Please understand, Chinese are not going to go back so soon. They may take few steps backward. Please read the history of Chinese. They always have responded in two ways: make military gains, problem, and then keep negotiating over a period of time. So they may pull back a kilometer or two, but it will take time before they're pushed out of Galwan Valley. They're pushed back to
Right, sir.
Figure 8. That is going to take time, and
Sir.
that requires India's resilience. We have to fight our own battle, and I think what we are doing
Sir.
right now is on the right line.
Absolutely, sir. No, absolutely, sir. Sir, I go to General Kochar here. General Kochar, sir, the general consensus on this panel seems to be that A, you can't trust the Chinese for what they say. B, a movement of a few kilometers here and there is not actually a withdrawal. And C, very, very importantly, is that you have to see it over a period of time. You can't just say that, okay, today they've moved back, so let's take it easy. Because the Chinese will come back. Whether they come back tomorrow or they come back in 2 years' time, they will come back. That has been the history. How do you read the situation, sir?
Most of the panelists have actually read the situation well. My reading of the situation is that the surprise element has been lost. In any war, if you have to be decisive, you have to have the surprise element with you. Here, for the last 1 month, China has given a large window of opportunity for the Indian army to mobilize and to be there in a very, very big way. So that element of surprise is off, and therefore military gains cannot be achieved in such a scenario. Secondly, of course, the world opinion, everything is going on. What is also most important is there are large number of internal issues within China also today. And those issues are gaining a lot of ground. The resurgence of the coronavirus has also started in China. So China has actually its hands full. It would not like to get embroiled for a very long time in this area. And as it is, I want to remind the viewers here that staying in this area beyond the month of November is a very big task. You see, Chinese logistics may be good, their communication network may be good, but the wind chill factor will actually come into play. At altitude of 15,000 feet, the kind of troops actually China has, they will not be able to sustain this at this altitude. So it is a conscious decision on the part of the Chinese to start the process now. We have to watch with a lot of caution. It is going to actually happen in incremental ways. it will be 2 kilometers, 1 kilometer, again 2 kilometers. So like that, and at the same time, the bargaining or the talks with the Indians will keep on going. And I have a premonition that the Chinese will ask for all those economic measures which the India has taken to slowly start actually withdrawing those measures.
Yeah.
Because it is hurting the Chinese
Right, sir.
economy now, especially the FDI part would be the first step. Chinese will ask for India to withdraw that part.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Niranjan,
Yeah.
very interesting, what General Kochhar says. General Kochhar basically says that in the long term, it's also hurting the Chinese economy because
Yeah.
India was the first one that took physical action against the Chinese, whether it's military or it's economic.
Yeah.
And now I think the Chinese more scared of not just what the Indians have done, is the kind of precedent it has set,
Yeah.
Niranjan.
Well, clearly, they're on the back foot